Hi, my name is Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. When you're choosing between a fleece and a down jacket, which one should you choose for your outdoor pursuits? Let's find out. So which jacket should you choose for an outdoor pursuit that's going to be cold? Should you go with the fleece on the right-hand side or the down jacket on the left-hand side? That's a tough choice. Now, I've done a lot of exploration. I've done mountain climbing. Heck, I've skied to the South Pole alone. I'm one of those crazy guys that goes all over the place. But one of the challenges is people always say, hey, should I choose a fleece jacket or, it keeps falling down here, or should I choose a down jacket? Now, as a polar explorer and mountaineer, that's actually not as clear a question as you might think. But before I go into talking about that more, if you could just take a moment and hit the subscribe button just below the video here, that would really help support my channel. It makes it much easier for me to continue bringing this material. And that way, it doesn't hurt you at all. Just hit the subscribe button, but it keeps me going, and I definitely would appreciate that. So let's talk about the differences between fleece and a down jacket. Now, fleece jackets, you can get these, let's talk about the cost first, incredibly cheaply. This is actually a fleece jacket from Japan, and it has down feathers on it. Now, this is a much better type of fleece than other fleeces I've gotten because it doesn't pill as much. I mean, this thing has lasted a good 10 years and it still performs very, very well. Down jackets, on the other hand, take a lot more care, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the cost of fleece, I mean, if you're in an utter pinch, I've purchased fleece jackets in Monterey, California, where the Monterey Bay Aquarium is, for $12. I mean, fleece jackets are cheap. Now, granted, those $12 fleece jackets, the wind cuts through them a lot more. They definitely don't perform great, but in a pinch, fleece is incredibly cheap. By the way, there actually is something called wind stopper fleece that ostensibly stops all the wind, or 90+% of the wind, from penetrating the fleece and chilling you. So this jacket, I can't remember how much I received it for. I received it as a gift from a friend in Japan. I mean, Japan, of course, isn't cheap, but even 20 or 30 bucks, it's no big deal. But price-wise for the down jacket, this one with a hood costs well above $100. Now, there are a lot of options for down jackets. I'll put a couple of links below for you to go check them out. Are all down jackets equal? No, not at all. You definitely want to get a jacket with 800 plus fill down, and what that means is it's a certain volume measurement. So it's 600 down versus 800 down. The 800 down is much loftier and it weighs less for the same insulating properties. So in a head-to-head comparison, the down jacket at 100, 75, anywhere up to 200 bucks for a light down jacket versus $12 to $30 for a fleece jacket, the fleece absolutely wins in the price competition. Yeah. Now let's look at performance. Fleece is actually surprisingly good for warmth. I mean, it's amazing for what it can do and the cost. But does a fleece jacket compare to a down jacket in total warmth capacity? No, definitely not. Down jackets are far, far superior to fleece for the same amount of weight. So let me step back here and I'll show you that these two jackets are roughly the same size, right? And they weigh about the same. They're just over a pound apiece. You don't get a hood on the fleece jacket, but you do get a hood on this particular down jacket, and it performs very well. So the weight to warm ratio, you absolutely cannot beat down. It's just, there's nothing like it. No synthetic fiber on earth has yet to be created that matches down in its warmth capacity. Now, I'm making that very critical point here. Fleece is very, very good. I wore this jacket and one other fleece jacket while I was skiing to the South Pole by myself. Now, I had a down jacket, I had a huge down parka, I had 2 fleece jackets because I wasn't exactly sure how cold it was going to get. And let me tell you, that minus 100 day with the wind and everything, freaking freezing! And I still had my fleece jacket on me. Now, so I'll give you a link below to this guy, but for toughness, that's a bigger factor. This fabric, the fleece jacket, unless you snag it on some sheet metal or something, this fleece jacket is super tough compared to this down jacket. Down jackets, the fabric on them is very delicate. I've seen, I think it's, who is it, Arc'teryx, one of them where you can actually see through the down fabric and you can see the clumps of down, which is a cool marketing thing, and I'll put a link below to it. So it actually is really, really neat. But I have seen so many people with their down jackets with little duct tape patches from tears they received, because you can just put duct tape on there, mash it, and keep going. By the way, you got to be careful not to get the down into the duct tape. But the fleece jacket, I can't ever remember anywhere ever seeing somebody with a tear in a fleece jacket. There's just no comparison. So toughness, super tough down jacket, you got to be a little careful. I mean, you walking through the woods, you snag a tree limb and you can really ruin a down jacket. And that down, once it starts piling out, you're toast. But the number one value difference between the fleece jacket and the down jacket is if it gets wet. If there is even the mildest possibility that you're in a location where your down could get wet, my recommendation is to go with the fleece and then still a shell jacket on top of that. Simply because when down gets wet, it loses its ability to retain any heat whatsoever. Wool socks, when they're wet, totally no problem. I was wearing wool socks in an Arctic river in a blizzard, and fortunately I didn't get frostbite. My feet still stayed warm. If I would have had the down jacket and it would have gotten soaked in that river, I wouldn't have been able to dry it for my 2-week expedition in Greenland. If I got my down or my fleece wet in that river, I would have been wet and irritated, but the fleece can still keep you warm. So if you want to take the risk, hey, a down jacket, lighter for the weight. I mean, this jacket's actually heavier than the fleece, but if you think you're going to get soaked in this thing, down is bad news. As far as care, down jackets and fleece jackets, I would say, are roughly comparable. As long as you launder both your down jacket and fleece jacket, regular Tide or Gain or whatever laundry detergent you use, you'll do just fine. One thing though is you can get, I'll put a link below to the Nix Wax water repellent fluid that you can add to your washing machine to make your down jacket more water repellent. There's actually a fleece water repel also that I'll put a link below too. So these guys head to head for washing, pretty comparable. I've worn this thing for like 3 months straight in Antarctica, which it was greasy as heck, but it still kept going. Down over time, just from your body oils and everything, will actually start to grease out, which is a bummer. So if you think you're going to be wearing this for a long time, if you have a big down jacket, it's not that big a deal, but this fleece is a nice insulation layer versus this. So which should you choose? Durability, weight's roughly comparable for these two jackets. Ultimate insulation, down is a winner. Toughness and maintenance, fleece is a winner. Rain, fleece is ultimately above down. So those are the considerations. When I'm going really crazy, I like to have my fleece jacket and the down jacket as part of my ultimate layering system. That's how I do it. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Please like and comment on my video. Hit that subscribe button. Just hit the little arrow next to the video, expand the text, and you'll be able to get to the links in the video for all the things that I've told you about here, so you can go check it out for yourself. Please check out my website, ncxped.com, link below. I'm a motivational speaker and I would love to help you out. And also, please support me on Venmo and PayPal. Thank you very much for watching.